During the 9-day mourning period for Pope Francis, cardinals from all around the world will gather at the Vatican to decide who the next pope will be.
That is the big question. Mary Calvi was in Rome to cover the funeral of Pope John Paul II and traveled to Israel to cover Pope Benedict. She joins us now from our CBS New York studio with insight into what comes next. And Mary, I guess this is really the tough question, right?
Yeah.
It certainly is. When the cardinals, though, gathered to select Pope Francis, it only took 2 days, quite swift compared to other elections in the past. We will know in weeks' time who will next lead the 1.4 billion Catholics worldwide. It is a process rich in history.
The conclave of cardinals has reached an agreement. The ancient signal to the world comes from the Sistine Chapel. Habemus Papam. We have a pope.
For nearly 750 years, the Catholic Church has been steeped in the tradition of the conclave, and throngs wait for final word. As many as 400,000 have descended upon St. Peter's Square for the announcement.
Brothers and sisters,
Buonasera.
Good evening.
When Pope Francis was elected, he was the first Latin American pope to take the helm of the Catholic Church. And now, as the selection of the next pontiff begins in weeks' time, the question, who will be the next leader of the world's 1.3 billion Catholics? A handful of cardinals are considered possible successors. Timothy Cardinal Dolan, considered the most charismatic and engaging personality among the cardinals.
You're the first in my office.
I spoke with him back in 2009 when the Pope chose him to lead the New York Archdiocese.
Did you see the other areas?
Have you been able to get out there in the city and just walk around?
Not much.
That 1 week into his role as the Archbishop and how things have changed. Elevated to the rank of cardinal in 2012, the now 75-year-old has been a leader of his people.
I'm so grateful. I mean, everybody's just been so good and so helpful and so embracing, and I don't know how to thank people. And I'm the one who, you know, they all say thank you for being here, and I said, you got it backwards. I'm the one who's grateful to be here. So you just let me say that thank you to everybody and to wish them God's blessings.
Back in 2013, in the inner circles of the church, his name came in loud and clear. But his support for Pope Francis has been unwavering from the beginning, his first time participating in the conclave.
Was it moving? You bet. I've respected him for a long time. You could just tell he was a man of serenity, a man of prayer, a man of depth. So we've got a holy man.
72-year-old Cardinal Joseph Tobin has been the Archbishop of Newark since 2017. He shares priorities with Pope Francis to have the church focus on humility and service to the poor.
People in my business should have the smell of the sheep, you know. What it means is you should be close enough to people to know what they're up against.
And while an American pope has been discussed, much focus has been on 2 other cardinals. Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the 70-year-old, entered the priesthood at just 14 years old and has served as Pope Francis's Secretary of State and advisor on international affairs. Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, already a much-discussed possible pope dating back to the conclave of 2013. The now 68-year-old has been dubbed by some as the Asian Francis, even before Francis brought him to Rome from Manila to serve as prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of People. But as with every previous conclave, who will ultimately take the helm of the Roman Catholic Church remains in the hands of 77 cardinals, the number needed to be chosen pope. In between 15 and 20 days, the conclave begins. A sort of campaigning period will take place where various papal candidates give speeches about their visions for the church, mapping out the direction they think it should take. Then the cardinal electors will isolate themselves from the world. Only cardinals under the age of 80, currently a group of about 135, are eligible to vote.
Mary, we know the conclave process is shrouded in secrecy. How long do you expect that process to last? Can we look to history to give us a clue?
Jessica, typically the conclaves last less than a week, but they can last as long as it takes to elect a new pope. The last lengthy conclave was way back in 1740. That lasted 6 months. But over the past century, no conclave has lasted more than 5 days. And again, for Pope Francis and also Pope Benedict, the conclaves lasted for only 2 days.
Wow.
And that starts in about 15 to 20 days from what we understand. Mary Calvi in our CBS New York studio. Thank you so much, Mary.